In this video, I'm going to share with you the 9 actionable steps to take to remove an Instagram action block from your account and restore your account back to normal. My name is Emelina, your Instagram marketing expert. Now, before we jump into the video, I want to share an amazing resource I have for you. It's a 70-minute free video training where I actually will show you how to double your Instagram following. And what's really great is I shot it when I had 12,000 followers. So I tell you all of the steps I took to get from 500 followers to 12,000 followers in under a year. It is incredibly doable. I give you very concrete and tactical steps. If you want to get access to this training, go down to the description box below and click the link for access. So many people ask me if the Instagram action block is the dreaded shadow ban. And my answer is probably not. Sometimes it can allude to you being flagged in the algorithm for activities that Instagram does not condone. Most of the time, it just means that you maybe violated a term of service on Instagram, or they think that you're a bot. It really comes down to Instagram thinking that you're producing spammy activity. Instagram action block happens when you like too many photos in a row in a really short period of time, comment too many times, follow too many people or unfollow too many people. And what's funny is it's not always completely accurate. Like, it doesn't just identify bot or spam behavior, it also identifies real behavior from you as a user. So for example, sometimes when I go through my feed and I'm responding to all of my comments, I might respond to 50 to 70 comments in an hour, and Instagram will send me that action block occasionally. Now, Instagram learns about your behavior. So if you typically tend to do several comments per hour per day, it will take that into consideration and give you more of a larger threshold for your maximum before it blocks your account. If you tend to not comment, for example, ever, and then one day you do like 250 comments in 2 hours, you're probably going to encounter a block. Or if you do that 2 days in a row. Is this making sense? So it is flexible. It's not a legitimate shadow ban, although if you get many action blocks over a repetitive short period of time, you could be theoretically largely flagged in the algorithm, which would decrease your reach and your potential engagement in the future. The good news is that these action blocks are temporary. They aren't permanent, so don't worry too much. I actually wouldn't worry at all because these are totally normal. Now, for the record, Instagram has been updating their app tremendously. There have been a lot of Instagram updates as of June of this year, 2019. They've really locked down on any spammy activity and any activities produced by third-party apps or even potentially bots. So I definitely wouldn't engage in anything like that moving forward. The algorithm has gotten much more strict about how many actions you can take in a short amount of time. So actions are likes, comments, follows, unfollows, things like that. So you may be thinking, how long will this block last? And that's totally valid. Now, in the past, the blocks used to last about 24 to 48 hours, even up to 72 hours. As of this June Instagram algorithm update, some blocks are being released after 48 hours, but many of them were continuing through 2 to 3 weeks, even up to 4 weeks. If you keep receiving this temporary block notification, don't panic. Even if it lasts a long time, and by long, I mean it could last up to a month, that's okay. I have some tips for you to actually be able to resolve this with Instagram so that Instagram can see that you are not spam, that you are not a bot, and that you are looking to engage with people on the platform. Without further ado, let's get into the tips so that you can remove your action block and show Instagram that you are a real, amazing, community-based user. Tip number 1 is to not perform the action that you're being blocked on for at least 48 hours. When your account is blocked from following, liking, or commenting on photos, and you continue to perform those actions, even if it's just leaving 1 or 2 comments or liking 1 or 2 people, you actually can trigger the algorithm and Instagram's app to reinstate the block for additional time. So what you want to do is just not touch whatever thing it was. If it was the likes that set it off for you or the follows, just don't follow anyone for the next 48 to 72 hours or around then, and then you can try again and see if the block has lifted. But don't go crazy, don't go following and liking a bunch of posts to see whether or not it's come through or if it's broken still or whatever it is. Just refrain from doing the activity that Instagram has said they've blocked you from. Tip number 2 is to select the Tell Us button when you receive the block on Instagram. This may seem obvious, but when you select that little button, it alerts to Instagram that you are a real active user. It tells them to go inspect your account, to see your actions, to see that you are a real person, and it will actually help your account have the block removed a little bit more rapidly. Tip number 3 is to post daily in your feed and in your stories. Essentially, Instagram thinks that you're not an active user. That's why they sent you the action block. They think that you're performing spam-like behavior. So the first thing you want to do is show Instagram that you're active. And if you are active, don't worry about it, just keep doing these things. You wanna be posting in your gallery feed about daily, and you wanna start posting stories. I would say at least 3 to 6 snaps per day so that you're showing Instagram that you are literally using the app in the way that it is supposed to be used. This will help remove the block on your account. Tip number 4 is to be a more active user in Instagram. So the reason why you've received this block is because you have either violated community guidelines or there's something about the way that you're acting with your account that doesn't look like a typical user. So here's what I recommend. Go into your app and watch stories every day. Now, if you don't actually want to sit and watch stories, play the first story, set your phone down, don't click it off, and it actually will rotate through all the most recent stories. Go into your DMs. You want to DM your friends, DM loyal followers that you know will DM you back. That's going to start showing Instagram that you are more active because people will be responding to your content. If you haven't been blocked from commenting, I would go into people's accounts that you know, love, and that trust you, some loyal followers, and begin commenting in their feeds to receive more comments back. Again, part of you being active is not just you using the app, but it's also people responding to you. It's showing that community element. Instagram really wants to build a community because that's what keeps people on the platform longer, watching their content, absorbing advertisements, and the like. So you want to be as active as possible, which is really going to include posting stories, watching stories, sending DMs, responding to DMs, responding to stories, posting, the whole gambit. Tip number 5 is to reconnect your Facebook account with your Instagram account. Now, if you have a business account, you should already be connected to Facebook. If you have a personal account, you won't be. So what I do recommend for a scenario like this is signing up for a business account on Facebook and attaching your current profile to a Facebook page that you own so that Facebook cues to Instagram that you are a real user and that you are definitely not a bot. This activity doesn't work 100% of the time, but I have seen it work with some of my clients in the past to remove the block, so I do highly recommend it. Now, if you do want a personal profile account on Instagram and not a business one, you could always just switch back to the personal profile after the block is reinstated. Tip number 6 is to begin promoting your feed posts using Instagram's advertising tool. It's called Promote or Boosting. What you're gonna wanna do is just take $3 to $10 per post or per day, whatever is more affordable for you. And I highly recommend using their automatic targeting tool. It's actually really effective to find people just like your followers to show your content to. This will actually show that you're a more active user. It will show that you're interested in Instagram advertising, which actually somehow cues you on Instagram's side and the algorithm and in the app that you are a more active user and perhaps to let go of the block that is currently on your account. I have found that advertising in general using Instagram's app and Instagram's advertising tool has helped my account significantly, not just gaining additional reach, but also it tends to look like Instagram favors accounts that do advertise. Tip number 7 is to delete any third-party apps that you're logged into using Instagram. Instagram has gotten very, very strict over the last few months about third-party apps. Third-party apps are usually used to follow and follow, mass like, auto DM, auto comment, and more. And Instagram is cracking down on this behavior because it doesn't facilitate community and it doesn't make them look good. It doesn't keep people on the platform. There's a lot of reasons why they don't like it. However, if you are also logged into other third-party apps that go through your stories or go through editing photos, some that also help you schedule content, if you have an action block, it's a really great idea to remove your login access to all of those apps for now, even though those aren't bad apps to have, until your block is lifted, and then you can log back into your scheduling software. Tip number 8 is if you're running any bots or any mass follow, liking, commenting, or mass DMs, discontinue these immediately. I feel like this goes without saying, but obviously the bot services, the third-party apps do go against Instagram's community guidelines. And while maybe some of them have worked for years in the past, at this point moving forward, I would say 100% that Instagram has really locked down on all of this behavior, and I would immediately discontinue this, especially if you received an Instagram action block. Tip number 9 is to log into your Instagram account on a desktop or laptop computer rather than your phone. This doesn't work 100% of the time, but sometimes there's actually a phone app bug. And the way that you can get around that is by logging into your Instagram account on a desktop or Chrome browser. I highly recommend you try that one. It has worked so many times for me to remove the action block. If you actually are able to log in, which you'll be able to log into your account, you want to go into your main feed and perform the action that says you're blocked around. If you were blocked from liking, go through and try liking a post and go try following someone. And if it works, then you know it's actually an Instagram app bug. So then what you're gonna do is update the app on your phone or delete the app and then reinstall the app. I'd love to hear which tips that you're going to be taking and putting into action, if not all of them, and if this worked for you and how quickly your block was lifted. Let me know down in the comments.